The last section in this unit talks about explicit and recursive rules. This really seems actually kind of basic, but the notation can really kind of mess kids up. And I've seen it a time or two on the ACT and on the EOC, so I want to talk about it a little bit. An explicit rule gives a sub n as a function of its term. So this is an example of an explicit rule. So if I know the term number, I can find whatever term I want to. So for instance, let's say I want to find a sub 20. Then I would simply put 20 in for n, and I would know that the 20th term is 3 times 20, which is 60, minus 2, which is 58. So if I wrote this out, I could go all the way over here to term 20, and I would see the number 58. A recursive rule is different. A recursive rule is given beginning term or terms, write the recursive. So this is how, like, if I know the now term, then I can find the next term. So with recursive, you have to know the term before it to find the next term. So let me show you an example of recursive. If I know that term 1 is 1, I can find the next term by taking this. So this would be term whatever you're talking about. When you see n minus 1, that means the term before it. So if I wanted to find term 2 in this case, I could do the term before term 2, which would be term 1, squared, and add 1. So term 2 would be 2. If I wanted to find term 3, I would need to know what term 1 is. Or excuse me, I would need to know what the term before it is. So term 3 would be 3 minus 1, which is term 2, and term 2 is 2 squared, add 1, so you would get 5. So you can see on this one, they don't have to be arithmetic or geometric. You just have to know the previous term to find the next term. So let me do another one with you. Let's say I know term 1 is 2, and I know term 2 is 2. To find the next term, you take, this would be the term 2 before it, and subtract the term before it. So if I want to find term 3, I'm going to put a 3 right here, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So I'm going to have the first term, and 3 minus 1 is 2, and subtract the second term. So the first term is 2 minus the second term, which is 2. So the third term in this case would be 0. Let's find the fourth term. So if I'm using this rule to find the fourth term, I'm going to have 4 minus 2, which is 2. So I would use the second term, subtract the third term. So second term is 2. The third term is 0, so the fourth term would be 2. So really, you're just finding, according to what this says, that tells you how many terms back you're going to go to get your number. So let's see if we can write some of these ourselves. So let's say I know term 1 is 4, and I know that there's a common distance of 3, so this means I'm dealing with an arithmetic. Let's see if we can write the explicit and the recursive. So the explicit is going to be, if I had 4, 7, 10, and so on. So the common difference is 3, so the rule is going to be 3n plus something, and if I go back to the 0th term, I would be at 1, or you could have used this formula if you like that better. You got the same answer. The recursive rule is going to be different. To find this term, what am I going to do? I'm going to take the term before that term, and since the common difference is 3, I'm going to add 3 to the term before it. So that would be the recursive rule. Let's think of another one. Let's say I know the first term is 15, and I know that it has a common difference of 5. So the explicit rule is a sub n equals 5n plus, if I go back 5, I would be at 10. The recursive rule is take the term before it and add 5 to get the next term. Sorry, you couldn't see that. Take the term before it and add 5 to get the next term. All right, the next one, let's say we're going to talk about a geometric. So I have term 1 is 3, and the rate is 0.1. So the explicit rule, to find any term, I'm going to have term 1 times the rate to the n minus 1 power. But the recursive rule, I can only find the next term. So the recursive rule would be take the term before it, and then we're going to have to, if the rate is 0.1, we're going to take that number times 0.1. So it'd be 0.1 times n minus 1.